Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sit down for their first face-to-face meeting. The two exchanged a brief encounter on the sidelines of an international summit in Germany, also the site of violent protests. ABC's Maggie Rulli is following the story from Washington.
We look forward to a lot of very positive things happening for Russia, for the United States.
It's the high-stakes handshake at this year's G20 summit that the entire world is watching. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sitting down face-to-face for the first time before starting that highly anticipated closed-door meeting.
This is the dichotomy of Donald Trump, right? In private, does he take that tough line? Is he consistent about standing up to Syria? Does he bring up Russian hacking?
Officials tell ABC News it's unlikely the president will bring up Russia's meddling in last year's election. But the president hinted yesterday he may press Putin on other points.
We urge Russia to cease its destabilizing activities in Ukraine and elsewhere, and its support for hostile regimes, including Syria and Iran.
This morning, Trump's tweeting that he looks forward to all of today's meetings with the other leaders, even though he doesn't see eye to eye with many of them on major issues like trade and climate change. With the White House preparing for backlash from many leaders on the administration's decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accords. And as the leaders of the most powerful countries in the world pose for a class photo, outside, thousands of protesters are demanding death to capitalism. German police have been forced to battle back with tear gas and water cannons. Up to 100,000 protesters are expected. President Trump also met with the president of Mexico, and when asked if he still plans to have Mexico pay for the border wall, he answered absolutely. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Washington.
Also new this afternoon, Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein announcing a visit to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. According to the Justice Department, the two want to get an update on current operations at the U.S. military base. The spokesman says the terror threat to the U.S. is still a major concern and highlighted the importance of utilizing every legal tool available to prevent as many attacks as possible. Here at home, a former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy back in court for another hearing today. A case management hearing taking place for Frank Bybee. This morning, Bybee's current Maine attorney asked to be removed from the case, which a judge granted. A new attorney was immediately assigned to the case. The attorney's switch will not affect his trial date, though, which is scheduled for September 5th. Bybee is facing 25 charges, including attempted murder, exploitation of the elderly, and fraud after a 79-year-old woman reported he was harassing her and tried to kill her. A shooting in Bradenton sends a 19-year-old and his younger brother to the hospital. It happened yesterday at a home on 6th Avenue East. Police say 19-year-old Rufus Adams and his stepfather, 36-year-old Joshua Rapola, got into an argument. Police say Adams grabbed a gun and Rapola grabbed one of his own. That's when they say Rapola is accused of shooting Adams in the head and upper body. Police say it appears a bullet accidentally struck his 12-year-old brother as well in the lower body.
Them kids used to play and stuff. I go by there and see them. They never had a problem like this here. So I just feel for the community.
Adams is in critical condition. His 12-year-old brother stable. No charges have been filed yet in this case. Memorial services are taking place for 2 of the 4 young men killed in a car crash in Englewood. Memorial services for 23-year-old Dustin Strong will take place this afternoon at 4 o'clock at Lemon Bay High School in Englewood. And services for 21-year-old Austin Hershey will take place tomorrow afternoon at 3. Services are still being arranged for Keith Williams and Billy Solomon. The men were killed when the car they were riding in ran a stop sign and smashed into an SUV last weekend. The car then burst into flames. The family in the SUV had only minor injuries. New this afternoon, there's been an uptick in vehicle thefts in recent years across the country. According to a report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, nearly 750,000 vehicles were stolen in 2015. That's more than $5 billion worth of vehicles. Now, Florida making the top 5 states where vehicles were stolen the most that year. California is number 1. It also has the largest population. According to NHTS, the most stolen vehicles are Honda Accords and Civics, the Chevrolet Silverado pickup, Toyota Camrys, and the Ford F-150 pickup. Experts suggest to avoid becoming a victim, park in well-lit areas, lock your doors, close your windows, and don't leave any valuables inside your vehicles. All right, let's check now on our weather. And it was just another typical hot summer morning here on the Suncoast, I guess, but a pretty one, too.
It was. It was. We had some nice colors. It was a nice sunrise and
Yeah.
some very pretty conditions. Temperatures were about where you expect them to be. You know, the humidity was a little bit on the high side. We're in summer. Yesterday we had a few showers around, a couple of them pretty strong.
Yeah,
Did some wind damage down in Charlotte.
right, I saw that.
Yeah, but you know, fewer than we would normally expect at this time of year. I think today we have a better chance of seeing a little bit more widespread shower activity, moisture slowly returning to the forecast. We've already got some loft in some of the clouds that are out in Gulf waters. You can see that on our Van Wezel webcam here. Looking out over Sarasota Bay, you can see a few of those larger storms just off the coast there. We will see today, I think those showers and thunderstorms begin to build a little bit earlier, and they'll be a little more widespread, and they will also favor inland areas as well as coastal regions, as opposed to yesterday, which was kind of a coastal event for a lot of folks. As we head into the afternoon, you can expect to see daytime high temperatures climb in response to all of the heating, and about a 40% chance of showers today. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. This afternoon, much to the frustration of many downtown merchants and the Chamber of Commerce, Sarasota City Commissioners once again approve an annual tax on businesses. The fee varies pending the size of the business and averages just over $100 a year. City officials say the tax helps generate nearly $1 million a year for the general fund. Commissioners increased the tax this time to another 5%, but opponents think it sends the wrong message to the business community. The only city commissioner to vote against renewing the tax was Commissioner Hagan Brody.
Most of the businesses that we collect this tax from are very small, single owner. We need to be moving in the opposite direction to attract small businesses to Sarasota, not to tour them.
Nearly 6,000 Sarasota businesses have to pay the tax. Northport commissioners want to better understand what kind of economic impact the Atlanta Braves spring training facility could have on the city. Commissioners voting for city staff to bring back a summary of potential revenues. The report would be similar to what is done for any commercial development. Commissioners have signed a letter of intent which states the city will pay $300,000 a year for 30 years in support of that complex. ABC 7 business commentator Jeff Stern just joins us now with a look at the day on Wall Street so far. And Jeff, we're through the first half of the year. Can you give us some perspective on the markets over that span so far?
Scott, that's great. And we know the first half has been super strong. So far this week, which is the beginning of the second half of 2017, S&P and Dow are down about 0.75%. NASDAQ's negative as well. It's been relatively slow. As we know, it's half-day Monday. We took off for Independence Day, pretty much flat for Wednesday. Yesterday had the big losses. A lot of stuff going on in the world. The G20 summit begins today, and as we heard earlier about Putin and Trump meeting, so we'll see how that all plays out and affects the markets. The job numbers came in today, but when I woke up this morning, the futures were relatively flat, so let's see how we're currently trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 21,388, up 68 points, 0.33% in the positive. NASDAQ 6,141, up 50 points, 8.5 in the positive, really leading the way again. S&P 2,421, up 12 points, 0.5%.
And Jeff, I understand the June job numbers are in.
Scott, they are in, and they crushed it. 222,000. They were only expecting 172. This makes it the 81st consecutive month of gains. Unemployment's at 4.4, just ticked up a bit. Wages grew 2.5% since last year. Good work. There's one concern. That's the opiate abuse, believe it or not. Participant rate for average men from 25 to 54 is down 10% since its peak back in 1954. That's about 88.4% in that realm. They say there's 1.8 million workers who are out for, quote, other reasons, and of that, they said about half have an opiate issue. Then we read about some positive stuff. Per Scholas is a great program. It's a non-for-profit that helps a lot of these people get in the technology world. It teaches them. There's no fee for it. They can average about $45,000 or more after the class is concluded. And that's great because some of the top companies out there, again, are the Googles, the Apple, the Microsoft. Even some of the financial companies and the consumer discretionary companies are strong, and they are hiring in the technology sector. So, Scott, the jobs continue to grow. very positive information. There's a lot of good programs to help continue that process. So good work, America.
All right. Jeff, thank you so much for the update.
Have a great weekend, Scott.
You too. Time now to check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who joins us today from one of Sarasota's original Italian markets and delis, Casa Italia.
Welcome to Casa Italia. I have loved this little gem on Constitution for so long, and now we get to bring it to you on our show to show you everything that we feature. And yep, the phone's gonna ring off the hook because there's so many takeout orders and people are getting ready for the weekend. This is the quintessential Italian market, but so much more because they offer Indian food one day a week and they have cooking classes, a great variety of small vineyard wines from all over Italy and champagnes. You're gonna dive into some great prosciuttos and cheeses and yes, Indian dishes. It's gonna be a flavorful day, and trust me, this is gonna be one of your go-to markets. So stay with me throughout the hour as we come to you from Casa Italia on Constitution here in Sarasota.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. The official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Download yours today.
For the last decade, SNS Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at some pretty quiet conditions out there, but warm, almost the 90-degree mark already. And I think in fact, I think we'll even be a little bit warmer perhaps than yesterday as the winds are just a little bit calmer. West-southwest winds right now at about 8. A lot of sunshine out there. And a dew point value that's kind of humid at 74 degrees. You factor in that humidity and, we're going to feel like again today 100 degrees out there. So again, a very warm one. Take it easy if you're going to be outside, especially if you're doing any kind of strenuous exercise out of doors. Wauchula at 88, Arcadia at 89 degrees in Mayaca, 90 now in Parrish and Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 89, 91 in Punta Gorda, in Northport, 90 in Punta Gorda, 87 degrees in Inglewood, Venice coming in at 88, and Longboat Key comes in solidly at 87. So not a lot of activity quite yet on radar locally, but Certainly the number of showers is larger today in the southern tip of the state and really out in the Atlantic and the Gulf waters as well. There's more moisture around. The moisture has lifted up from the south, replacing the dry air that was in place yesterday. Now, as I said yesterday, we couldn't rule out showers completely because it's still summer in Florida. And we are still not back to where we should be in terms of the number of storms around, building on a sea breeze front in the afternoon. But I think we'll see more today than we saw yesterday. Right now, pretty quiet conditions, but that dry air lifting north will again provide us with good chances of seeing some higher rain chances as we head into the weekend. We are looking at a high-pressure ridge, which is basically sitting over us. And with that high-pressure ridge basically sitting over us, what we tend to get is a lighter wind flow. And with the lighter wind flow, our sea breeze front will probably start a little earlier and progress a little further inland. And along that sea breeze front is where we will see our showers and a few thunderstorms begin to form. Those showers and thunderstorms will be slow movers because the wind field is fairly light. So if you happen to be under one of them, you're going to get a pretty good downpour of rain, I should imagine. They'll have a slow drift back to the coastline as the sea breeze front collapses. So for today, slowly increasing moisture. Oh, and by the way, remember our tropical depression? It'll probably be gone by tomorrow when you wake up. It's suffering from a lot of shear, a lot of dry air intrusion, and it's really not doing a whole lot out there in Gulf waters, which, you know, is not a bad thing, right? Or, sorry, out there in Atlantic waters. So it's not a bad thing that it fades away. The rain chances will get better as we head into the weekend, as we see even more moisture across our region build. Forecast looks like this. We'll have about a 40% chance of rain showers today. 50% chances we head into Sunday and Monday and probably hold there, maybe even a little higher than that. But temperatures will come down just a little bit as we will see a greater frequency of showers. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Happening tonight, members of a Manatee County church are lending their support to those dealing with opioid addiction. The Resonate Life Church in Bradenton is hosting its first ever Freedom Conference this weekend. It kicked off this morning. Several speakers who are former addicts will be coming to share their stories of battling and overcoming addiction.
We want to share the good news of the gospel that people don't have to remain bound to any kind of addiction. Manatee County right now is like #1 in deaths and in heroin overdoses. And so we believe that God wants to set people free because he loves them so much.
The Freedom Conference takes place tonight and tomorrow at the Resonate Life Church on 53rd Avenue West in Bradenton. The conference is free. In health news this afternoon, a new study is linking a common heart condition to chocolate. Researchers finding those who eat chocolate lower their risk of atrial fibrillation, or AFib. The condition involves an irregular heartbeat. Researchers found that those who ate moderate amounts of chocolate, like 2 to 6 servings per week, showed the lowest risk. But doctors say they wouldn't advise people with AFib to go out and start eating sugary treats. AFib is most commonly an inherited condition. And while there aren't any proven prevention measures for it, there are things people can do to help lessen their overall risk.
There are things that can be done to modify our risk of developing AFib, such as maintaining a healthy weight. And for people who have AFib and are also obese, there's good scientific evidence that losing weight and getting to a more healthy body mass index can be effective in reducing the amount of atrial fibrillation that our patients are experiencing.
Although chocolate is delicious and it's okay in moderation, it's important to remember that it does have a lot of sugar, so enjoying just a few servings per week is best. And today's a good day to do that. It is World Chocolate Day. In sports, some of the big names at Wimbledon move on while an American suffers a painful knee injury. Bethany Mattek-Sands had to be removed from the courts after injuring her knee during a singles match. The 32-year-old was charging the net when her right knee buckled. She's still undergoing tests today to find out the extent of her injury. On the men's side, second-seeded Novak Djokovic and number 3 seed Roger Federer both advancing to the third round. They both win in straight sets. And Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray are scheduled to play in the main stadium today. Back on the women's side, top seed Angelique Kerber wins her second-round match in straight sets. And Venus Williams is playing today, a judge granting her an emergency order of protection in a civil lawsuit over a deadly car crash she was involved in South Florida. Tampa Bay Rays returned home last night and picked up a very big win over the first-place Boston Red Sox. Rays catcher Wilson Ramos had his best game yet as a Ray. He homered and drove in 3 runs against Boston ace Chris Sale. Ramos also threw out runners trying to steal second and later third. Rookie pitcher Jake Faria remains unbeaten with the win. Final score 4-1, Rays win. Same 2 teams play again tonight at Tropicana Field. For the first time ever, Notre Dame and Arkansas will meet on the football field. The school's announcing a home-and-home series. The first game will be played on September 12, 2020 in South Bend, and the second game will be in Fayetteville, Arkansas, October 4th of 2025. Arkansas is one of 4 SEC programs that have never faced Notre Dame, along with Auburn, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. Notre Dame recently has added 2 other Southeastern Conference opponents, Georgia in 2017 and 19, and Texas A&M. They'll play them in 2024 and 2025. Up next, 2 pooches for our pets of the week. You'll meet them next. And then humans are not the only kind of burglars you have to worry about in one neighborhood. The story when we come back.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
I'm Cindy Lou. I'm Susie. I'm Missy. And I'm Betty Jean. And we're the Marvelous Wonderettes. Mr. Sandman.
Experience the best girl group songs from the 50s and 60s live on stage at the Players Center July 12th through the 23rd. Call 941-365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll fall in love with the Marvelous Wonderettes.
I'm so alone.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Time now to meet our pets of the week. We have 2 of them today. John joins Marsha Panucci, the founder of Dante's Den and host of Animal Outtakes, to introduce Precious and Pup Pup.
What are you doing, Jolene? What are you doing?
John?
Oh, that's cute. I love these dogs. I love poodles. I think poodles are really smart dogs. I love all dogs, but I like poodles.
Yeah, well, I'll say the schnauzers are, but then again, you and I have always had this discussion.
I know. We have.
But this is Precious and Pup Pup. You have Pup Pup, and he is 6 years old. And these are a bonded pair. I have Precious. She is 8. They are silver poodles. And she runs the show, just so that you know he doesn't have a chance. But he loves to just playfully aggravate her, and she loves every minute of it, as you can see.
Now, their family? Is that?
Yeah, they were actually bred by the same breeder, not of the same litter, but definitely of the same breeders. So
Same
we're
bloodline.
we're dealing with a pretty good genetic bloodline here.
Mhm. And they've been together their entire lives, do you know?
Well,
you think?
8 and 6.
8 and 6.
So,
Okay, so
yeah,
almost.
So yeah, they've almost been together their whole lives, and that's why they have to go as a bonded pair. And you know, as the dogs get older, if they've come in as a bonded pair, it's not a good idea to separate them because they really depend on one another
Oh,
for
they
many
do.
different things.
Absolutely
know.
do. For companionship,
Yes.
they play together, they learn each other's ways,
And you can see they just make themselves at home on any cushion that you could possibly have.
including laps, apparently.
Yes, they love yours.
Yay.
And you know, the important thing about these two is their microchip, John. And this, as you know, is a very important feature that we need to discuss.
Well, we were talking about that just earlier before the show, actually, and you mentioned very correctly last time we were together that on the 4th of July is a bad day for losing dogs
Yes.
because they get scared and they run. And your organization came up with how many?
We had 12 dogs kind of stray into our gate.
And they didn't look like strays, right?
No,
They were well-kept dogs.
Yes, very well kept dogs.
And how many of them were microchipped of the
One.
12? One.
One was microchipped.
Which makes it all the harder for the
Yeah.
dogs to get back.
You know, it's really the only way that we can return the dogs to their owners because that's where they belong.
Right.
And certainly over at Dante's Den, we ask for proper identification, pictures of you and the dog, and that type of thing. But the whole idea is to get the dog back to its owner.
Exactly. So I guess the moral of that story is if your dog is not microchipped, run, don't walk to your vet.
Yeah.
Get the dog microchipped.
Absolutely.
Marcia, thank you very much. You babies, you're so sweet. I hope you get adopted today. I sure hope so. There's the information on your screen. Great organization, Florida Poodle Rescue, 727-265-1766. Two precious dogs. Be a world of fun. Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you, John.
Scott.
Thank you both. Let's get back now to Chef Judy. She joins us today from Casa Italia in Sarasota. Judy?
I want you to meet Raj, one of the owners. Raj, I'm so happy to be with you today.
Pleasure to meet you, and thanks for coming by.
I can't believe it's been 15 years since I first met you and you took over Casa Italia. Tell us what brought you to this point where you decided to buy it and what you've done to expand it.
Well, we lived in England, as you know, and we wanted to move to Florida. We looked at a number of businesses, and this one we felt was just right for us. We both like food. I like wine, and this was just a match made in heaven. And so we bought it from the previous owners, Nanette and Giuseppe Galoni, and they'd been running it for 17 years. So now we're in our 33rd year here.
It's pretty incredible, and around the holidays, my husband comes with the full list of specialty cheeses and olives and things like that. You also offer Indian cuisine. Let's talk about that.
That was as a result of requests by our customers. They pestered my wife to try some of her Indian food, and eventually she said, all right, I'll try it once and we'll see how it goes. And it sold out within 2 or 3 hours.
Amazing.
And people were calling back to see if there was more, and there wasn't. And that's how we started, and now we do it every Friday, 4 Indian dishes. And we have a list of people who call ahead of time and reserve, because there are times when it's sold out.
Please put me on that list. Now, you also feature wine tastings. You'll have a new one coming
Yes,
up.
indeed. We have, during the winter, we do wine tastings once a month on the 2nd Friday of the month. But during summer, when there's less people, we do them on a Saturday afternoon. And we have actually one coming up tomorrow on the 8th. And we'll be featuring 4 wines from Italy. And it's from about 11:30 to 2:30.
And is there a charge for that?
For the summer ones, there's no charge. But for the ones in winter, we charge $10. And we put out a whole table full of antipasto items from our store. So not only to get people to taste the wine, but they get to taste some of these beautiful things that we have here.
It's wonderful. Now, I have to talk about the olive selection alone. How many varieties do you have that are marinating over there? My husband, this is a kid in a candy store here.
We have at least 12 that we make ourselves, so the different types. And then we have about another 15 or so just in brine. So there's a lot of oil.
And you're going to see a lot more in just a few minutes when we get to the food at hand. We'll be right back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust. We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC7?
I like ABC7 because it's local.
It gives me all the local news. The local news, local weather.
It's so local and so community driven.
Kelly Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful. Stephanie's my favorite.
I like Scott Dennis.
I like them all.
We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I'm Alan Cohn. President Trump at the G20 summit. Protests as world leaders gather in Germany, and all eyes will be on one meeting, Trump and Putin.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Topping our news this half hour, 2 flight disruptions create a scare for hundreds of passengers. One of them allegedly involved a passenger attacking a flight attendant. ABC's Elizabeth Herr explains.
2 disruptions on 2 planes meant a long night for hundreds of passengers.
Approach Delta 129 with emergency. We're coming back again.
A Delta flight bound for Beijing was forced to return to Seattle just 45 minutes into the flight. This after one of the 207 passengers on board, according to eyewitnesses, was walking back and forth to the bathroom in first class, then toward the exit door. That's when witnesses say a flight attendant was punched trying to stop the 23-year-old man. Ultimately, other passengers stepped in to subdue the man. Delta confirming to ABC News overnight the passenger was restrained on board and was removed from the flight by law enforcement without further incident when the aircraft arrived back in Seattle. A flight attendant and another passenger were injured and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, another incident involving an unruly passenger ended with a Canadian airliner requiring an escort back to Montreal.
You got a set of 2 F-15.
The 2 U.S. F-15 jets were launched to escort the Cuban-bound flight back to Canada after officials say a passenger was making threats, which have not been revealed, but that man, we are told, was also taken into custody upon landing. 170 passengers were on that flight, but by morning, officials say fortunately all of the affected passengers on both flights were able to resume their travels and head to their final destinations. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Here in Florida, an investigation is underway into the death of a pilot who crashed his small plane in the Everglades. The plane's owner reporting his Cessna missing last Saturday. The plane was found Wednesday night. The pilot's body found just feet away from an alligator. The plane belonged to a flight school in Miami. The owner says the licensed student pilot took off on his own at Saturday night, which violates their policy.
Every time anybody flies in the evening, they must fly with another pilot. You go out there in the pitch dark and you basically have spatial disorientation.
The identity of that pilot has not been released yet. The FAA and the NTSB are investigating the crash. Also in South Florida, the Broward County Tax Office workers arrested in a $16 million fraud case. Robert Martinez is accused of a scheme that used forged documents to defraud 28 property owners out of $1.6 million. Deputies say he was working with 5 other people who provided forged documents and received money. 5 of the former property owners were dead and another was in federal prison when the notarized documents were signed, which allowed others to collect the money on their behalf. Overall, Martinez has 102 felony counts, which include grand theft and money laundering. A South Carolina inmate gets a brief moment of freedom. Prison authorities recapturing 46-year-old Jimmy Causey in Texas after he escaped the second time from a maximum security prison. His first escape was more than a decade ago. He was found after 3 days on the run. This most recent escape lasted just 2 days. Officers believed he used a cell phone and wire cutters that were likely dropped from a drone to escape. He also had a rifle and $47,000 in cash on him. Causey is serving a life sentence for kidnapping. We talk about an unwanted break-in. Surveillance video captures a 375-pound bear breaking into a Colorado home earlier this week. He strolls through the hallway, goes through the cupboards, kitchen drawers. And at one point, well, he finds the food. He'll open the refrigerator. Police say the animal was in the house for about 5 hours, with the family sleeping upstairs the entire time all this was going on. He was also spotted in 2 other garages in that neighborhood. Although it didn't hurt anyone, Colorado Parks and Wildlife ended up tracking the bear down and euthanizing it, saying its frequent trips into the neighborhood made it just too much of a public threat. But he knew where the food was. He found that refrigerator, and you know, they're motivated by food, and that's what brings them into neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Either in the garbage or, I don't know how it got into that house, though. Man.
I don't know how it roamed around for 5 hours and
nobody woke up.
Slept through it. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive sleep habit. Luckily, no one was injured there, and luckily nobody was injured yesterday with the windstorms that we had down near Punta Gorda. Some of the mobile homes, some damage there to about a dozen mobile homes. I don't think we'll see any severe weather today, but you know what? In Florida in the summer, you just really never know. I think our rain chances a little bit higher than they were yesterday. We'll see a few more thunderstorms around. We have a little more moisture to help support the shower and thunderstorm activity, though the mechanism for producing the storms will be pretty much the same. That is, showers and thunderstorms building. Nice shot here out in Gulf waters from the Casey Key webcam of those clouds beginning to build and even a few showers out there in Gulf waters. Currently, the showers aren't near shore. They are out in the Gulf, but we will have a few that'll make it onshore over the course of the next hour or so. We had one down there around Rotunda into Northport, and one up to the north around areas of Longboat Key. But so far, not a whole lot of activity. That'll change later on today. Talk all about the forecast in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Developing this afternoon overseas, authorities are working to find out what caused a 5-story apartment building to collapse this morning in Italy. Firefighters say there was no explosion, but a train had just passed by on adjacent tracks to the building, which could be a possible cause. At least 7 people are believed to be buried in the rubble. 8 more are missing at this point. The famed running of the Bulls Festival getting off to a gory start in Spain. Up to 3 people were severely injured during the first running. 1 man was gored in the chest, another in the abdomen. More runners were believed to be bruised and hurt. These bulls come from a particular ranch and are known to cause a lot of injuries. The race took place on a cobbled street course, lasted less than 3 minutes. This annual event dates back to the 13th century. Here at home, it's been a booming season for sea turtle nesting. Mote Marine Lab reports more than 3,000 nests have been documented so far on beaches along Longboat Key, Lido Key, Siesta, Casey, and in Venice. Now, experts say a new record for nests could be set. Sea turtle nesting season ends in October, so there's still plenty of time for them to create some more nests. Time now to check back with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who's joining us today from Casa Italia in Sarasota. Judy?
Welcome back. Now it's Nita's turn to share with us the beautiful cuisine that you've prepared today. And Nita, let's start with this dish right here.
Okay, we do a variety of homemade fresh food. And these are some of our more popular dishes. This is called chicken puttanesca. So fresh sliced chicken breast, sauteed, and then put in a homemade sauce with olives and capers and cherry tomatoes, really popular. And then we do meatballs, which are one of our most popular items, so we try to always have them there.
That's right, and when you're known for your meatballs, that's pretty impressive. What do you think makes your meatballs so delicious? What type of meats you're using?
We're actually just using ground beef. Like some people add veal and pork, we don't. We just do use ground beef. It's a lot of love that we put in there.
And you can really taste that for sure. Now, I know I am just such a prosciutto fan, and there are people that drive from St. Pete and Longboat Key just to buy some of these meats. Let's get a description of the display.
Okay, we have 3 different prosciuttos from Europe. San Daniele prosciutto from Italy, Parma from Italy, and we also have Jamon Serrano from Spain, which is kind of hard to find. We have like everything big, which we slice to order.
Fabulous.
So, which is wonderful, and we over the 15 years we have learned the art of slicing,
which
so
it really is unique,
how
right?
You slice makes a difference.
It really does.
Yes,
and cheeses. I mean, that's my baby. I love a cheese course.
We have some wonderful artisanal cheeses. Here we have aged sheep's milk cheese from Sardinia, the Gorgonzola Dolce Latte, and Taleggio and Rasquera from Piemonte. These are like some of our customers' favorite and our favorites as well. So people love those.
I love it. And over here, the infamous olives.
Olives we are famous for. Those are Castelvetrano olives, the bright green ones from Sicily. And in the middle is our like most popular olive. It's a homemade mix called Casa Italia Special. We do something very special. We crack each olive by hand, the old-fashioned way, which it is hard to see many other people doing that. And the other ones are Bella di Cerignola. Beautiful combination of colors.
And now the infamous curry.
Yes, we got into doing Indian foods every Friday, which has become a very popular day for us, and people wait for Indian Food Friday. This is a beautiful chicken curry in a coconut milk sauce and with basmati rice. This is a curry chicken salad, which is in England called coronation chicken salad. And this is like a British version of
must be the Queen's dish, I'm
Absolutely,
sure.
With the mango chutney and everything in
And last but certainly not least, the marinated vegetables.
These are all our imported goodies. They come from Italy. The long artichoke is famous from Rome. It's called Roman style artichoke. These are grilled artichokes, grilled eggplant, grilled onions, and also grilled olives, which are a rare thing to have.
Very rare. So you've done such a great display and description of so many things that you have to offer. So now you know why, since we've moved down, I've been a big fan of Casa Italia. Stay with me. I'm coming back for a little espresso and dessert and to wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC filter hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
One skinny little degree away from 90 degrees out there right now. Really warm day, a lot of sunshine around. Solar insulation is good, heating the ground. The winds are light, the ground heats. It heats the air just above the ground. It doesn't get blown away because of winds, so it sits there getting hotter and hotter, and consequently, we get hotter and hotter. Look for a daytime high today that'll probably top out a degree or two warmer than yesterday as the winds are lighter. And the feels like temperature is still warm as dew point values are still high in the mid-70s. It's probably about where it will be right straight through the summertime, mid-70s. We have a west-southwest wind coming in at about 8 right now, starting to get the beginnings of a sea breeze. That sea breeze will be with us throughout the afternoon, pushing a better distance inland today, I believe, because the general wind flow across the state is much lighter and somewhat variable as well. 90 Wauchula, 91 Myakka, Arcadia, Northport, Lakewood Ranch, 90 in Parrish. Got a 92-degree reading in Bradenton, 89 in Sarasota, 88 in Venice, Inglewood, and 86 degrees Longboat Key. We may see the temperatures come down a degree or two over the weekend because the number of rain showers that we're going to get, I think, will be on the increase. Moisture is on the increase. Yesterday we had some drier air that moved right in across the center part of the state. Well, that moisture is increasing from the south to the north as we start to bring in a little upper level moisture across the region. Right now things are pretty quiet across the area. We're not seeing much activity. One lone shower just about moving into areas of Lakewood Ranch right now, but it's just a dot. We're looking at high pressure ridge being the dominant weather feature across our area, almost in line with the center part of the state. That high pressure ridge is giving us the light wind flow today and allowing that sea breeze to move a good distance inland. The low-level area, the low-pressure area to the north of us and the frontal boundary through the Ohio Valley stretching back into the open plains, not an issue for us whatsoever. High pressure stays exactly where it is today, slowly increasing our moisture as we develop a southerly wind aloft, and our tropical depression fading away thanks to some drier air and some upper-level winds just kind of tearing the thunderstorms apart. Better rain chances, I think, as we go into next week. Right now, we're seeing just those showers along the sea breeze front beginning to develop, maybe an isolated shower near the coast in the morning. But the number of showers that we have tomorrow will probably be increasing, as you just saw those bright reds and yellows of higher reflectivity, more rainfall, larger raindrops, et cetera, across the region tomorrow. There's TD4, or what's left of it. Not much there. The upper level winds just kind of tearing this system apart, and drier air all the way around it being in train also tearing it apart. The forecast track for this system with a 30-mile-an-hour wind tracks it right through Monday. I'd be surprised if when I come back on Monday it is still in the forecast. It's probably going to just wash away and be nothing more than a group of showers out there in the open Atlantic. Maybe eventually it'll bring some parts of the United States or the Bahama Islands a little bit of extra rainfall, but that's it. Daytime highs top out in the mid to lower 90s and then lower 90s as we head into next work week as rain showers begin to increase. Scott?
John, thank you so much. New this afternoon, Sarasota County is looking for your help to name 3 preserve sites. The county is looking to name the areas in East Sarasota County. County using money from its environmentally sensitive lands program to buy land at the Churchill Ranch, Jordan Holdings, and Carlton Ranch. Together, they protect more than 5,600 acres of native habitat. Selection criteria will be based on location, historical value, and or an individual or group. The deadline for submissions on names, Wednesday, July 19th at 5 p.m. When we come back, we're going to wrap up lunch with Chef Judy, and only one movie is opening in theaters this weekend. Are you swinging to see it? We'll have all the details on the newest Spider-Man movie coming up.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Download ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app onto all your devices so you can stay informed wherever you go. With our full-featured all-new weather app, you can get weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app, sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download yours today.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
It's been a lovely visit here at Casa Italia, and I'm finishing up with what I think is the quintessential Italian way to have your dessert. I have some biscotti, I have some Vinsanto. You can dip your biscotti into that as you sip it, or of course a classic espresso, and some wonderful cheeses. Now, to me, that's what I'm talking about. Remember Casa Italia, Indian cuisine every Friday. You can book your own private cooking classes, variety of wines and olive oils and prosciuttos and cheeses and marinated vegetables and frozen pastas that you're just gonna love. So while I dip my biscotti and say buongiorno to all of you, I'm gonna send it back in good taste. Have a delicious weekend. I know I'm going to.
All right, Judy, thank you so much. At the box office this weekend, it's all about Spidey. Spider-Man Homecoming is expected to swing into first place. Sony is being conservative with about an $80 million prediction, but experts at Fandango believe it could bank $100 million or more in ticket sales. Of all the Spider-Man movies, 2007 Spider-Man 3 had the top opening weekend at $151 million. Actor and comedian Patton Oswalt is now engaged to actress Meredith Salinger. The happy news comes just 15 months after the unexpected death of his wife, writer Michelle McNamara. Oswalt played Spence on the sitcom The King of Queens. And nothing says love more than having a day named after you. The city of Philadelphia proclaiming yesterday as Kevin Hart Day, which was also the comedian's 38th birthday. Hart is a Philly native, and to honor him, the city also unveiled a giant mural of him on top of a Philly cheesesteak eatery, which the actor said growing up he could never afford to eat at. He also was presented with the city's bell and his own Phillies jersey. Hart is starring in the upcoming remake of the film Jumanji, which I'm sure will be hilarious with him in it. He's a funny guy. You don't know Kevin Hart?
I don't. I live a sheltered life. What can I tell you?
Did you see Central Intelligence?
No.
His most recent movie.
I did not.
Come on. You should see it. It's
Got
fun.
anything else? Well, I should, I guess. I heard of Captain Underpants. I heard of that one.
Okay, yeah.
Didn't see it, though. But I'll work on that over the weekend.
All right, John. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you again at 5, we hope.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.